Welcome to the Star Wars EU hands-on Star Wars The Bounty Hunter Code from the Files of Boba Fett. This is a production of lightsaberrattling.com. You'll notice that there's a nice slipcover on the bookcase that it comes in. You get a little description on the back of the slipcase, and you'll see the Mithrannosaurus skull everywhere, basically. There's a lot of Boba Fett imagery associated with the book. The slipcase slides right off. And underneath there's a very sturdy, very well-constructed cardboard box, again, with the Mithrannosaurus skull on it. When we open up the box, you open it from the front, and you'll see some instructions on how to open the device and how to unpack the device that are included. The bookcase itself is going to be wrapped in plastic with some warning stickers on it. It's encased in a black plastic carrying case within the box, which has indentations on the front and the back of it, so the book doesn't actually move around at all. It pops in and pops out. Once you remove the battery tag, you can turn the book on. The key for accessing the front of the bookcase is going to be in the bottom of it. You can store there as well. It snaps back in place after you're done using it. Now, the big criticism I have so far is that the stickers are directly on the bookcase itself, and they're not very easy to take off, and when they do take off, they leave a residue behind. So be careful when you're taking these off. If you do scrub out them a little bit, you can get them off pretty easily. Just I wouldn't use any chemicals or anything. You don't want to get into the book. The first time I opened it, I didn't really follow the directions, so we'll see. You'll see how that worked out. But afterwards, it took a couple times opening it up before the full light and sound production started working on it. The book itself is wrapped in plastic. Underneath which there's another smaller book. It's a nicely bound hardcover, well textured. Pretty much the same size and shape and dimensions as the previous books, the Jedi Path and the Book of Sith. And just like those books, there's little goodies hidden away in the pages. This one, besides the kimono and saber dart that's included in the case itself, stuff that's in the book is much more paper printed one sheets, a little less I would say creative as some of the other ones where they had like a napkin, a Padawan braid, Jedi cred coins. So it's a little easier to keep all that stuff together, which I kind of like as well. Making a Killing by Kradosk. He was Bosk's dad. If you're not aware of the EU, you really should read the Bounty Hunter Wars trilogy. Kimono and Saber, it's a little hard to get out of the case. It's very sharp, so be careful with it. I would not want little kids playing with this because it does have some very sharp edges to it. And then you'll notice on the lid of the case, glued or taped to it, is the little information about the contents and a little in-universe setting of it. Basically, this case was discovered on Slave 1 after Boba Fett fell into the Sarlacc pit and his ship was impounded. Okay. So you'll see that front piece slides up and slides down and clicks in place. You slide the card in, and a little slot activates, and the lights and sound come on. Now, the correct way to do it, you'll see in a minute.
Okay.
And when you're done, you just close it back up. Now, if you push on the sides, that will actually mechanically roll down. There's two buttons, one on each side of the case. So you push the buttons. I figure it out eventually. You push the buttons on the side, it slides down, and then you insert it, and the light and sound takes off. The case itself and mechanics of it seem to work better than either of the previous books. The Jedi Path case was really bulky and not really too fancy. The Book of Sith one, the mechanisms within it were pretty fragile, which I'm not a big fan of. This one seems a better design, a much sturdier book. Again, after reading the instructions, you'll see how it should work all the time.